Uber and Lyft drivers rallying in San Francisco this week in support of a California bill that would make it hard for companies to classify workers as independent contractors. So Uber decided to offer drivers there a $21 minimum wage plus paid time off, sick leave, and injury compensation if they're hurt while driving. Suraj Farvar is here to talk us through all of this. And Suraj, what is in this bill in California known as AB 5?
Yeah, so AB 5 is a state bill that has already passed the California State Assembly. It's going to be coming up before the state Senate later this summer. Basically, it would, as you say, make it much, much harder for companies like Uber and Lyft to unilaterally, as they do now, label their workers as independent contractors rather than employees. Employees under state law get a number of benefits, including unemployment, workers' compensation, the right to unionize, and many other rights.
So what are California officials, let's say Governor Gavin Newsom, saying about the bill? Do you think if it gets through the Senate that he'll sign it?
It's a really good question. We don't know yet what the governor's position is on this bill. He's been a little cagey. He addressed this issue earlier in his State of the State address earlier this year, but we don't actually know what his position is.
So how are Uber drivers then taking this $21 an hour sort of counter offer, if you will? Has that been well received, or is it not enough?
I've seen a number of messages online, on message boards, on Twitter, saying that many drivers are very frustrated with this offer, and they feel like it's not enough for them, and they would really like to see the company do more and offer them higher pay, because, of course, drivers have to bear all of the costs of expenses, gas, maintenance, insurance, etc.
For argument's sake, let's just say AB 5 happened in California. What would it mean to the gig economy in the rest of the country? Do you expect this could set some sort of precedent? We could see it happening in other cities and states across America?
Well, given that, of course, California is the most populous state in the union, I think it would set a whole new tone for the way the gig economy operates nationwide, particularly if companies do have to pay them more, they get more benefits. I think we would also see, as some of these companies have said, probably a rise in the cost of these particular rides and some of these services offered by companies like this. But labor activists would say that's worth the price.
And I know we've been talking so much about the Uber and Lyft drivers, but this isn't just drivers. I mean, this applies to a lot of other companies, industries, fields within the gig economy.
That's right. There's a number of other gig economy companies. Think of companies like DoorDash or TaskRabbit or other companies that rely on so-called, freelance or independent labor beyond just simply driving a person from place to place. There are many other types of services and companies that would be affected as well.
All right, Suraj Farvar, I have a feeling we'll be talking to you about this one again. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.